Have you ever pondered what truly lingers in the hearts of men as they reflect on the women who have touched their lives? As the years pass, we begin to realize that the grand moments, the extravagant gifts, the fleeting excitement of youth pale in comparison to the small, quiet gestures that define a person's essence. Women, often without realizing it, leave lasting impressions on men in ways that have nothing to do with appearance, status, or social expectations. These are the things men remember in the later years of their lives, the subtle but profound details that make a woman unforgettable. It is not about perfection, but about presence. It is not about impressing, but about being. Through time and wisdom, men, especially those who have lived long enough to see what truly matters, notice far more than women often think. Here are 7 things that stay with them, long after the moment has passed. 1. The way she brings light into a room. There is something about certain women that cannot be measured in words. It is felt. It is the way their presence changes the air, the way their energy lingers long after they have left. A woman who brings light into a room does not do so by demanding attention, nor does she rely on outward beauty or charm. Her light is something deeper, something unspoken, something that radiates from the way she moves through the world. She carries warmth, not because she is trying to please, but because kindness is woven into her very being. She greets people with sincerity, looking them in the eyes as if they truly matter. Her laughter is not forced or performative. It is genuine, rising from a place of joy rather than a need to be noticed. She is the kind of woman who makes others feel lighter, not because she fills the space with noise, but because she makes room for connection. Men notice this not in a fleeting way, but in a way that stays with them. They have encountered many people throughout their lives, but few who make the world feel softer simply by being in it. A woman who brings light into a room has a quiet strength. She does not let life harden her, nor does she let the weight of the past dim her spirit. There is resilience in her warmth, a depth in her kindness. And long after she is gone, her presence is still felt. Not in what she said, nor in what she did, but in how she made people feel. That is the kind of light that never fades. 2. The strength in her silence. There is a quiet kind of strength that speaks louder than any words, a strength found not in raised voices or grand gestures, but in the stillness of a woman who knows her own power. She does not rush to prove herself, nor does she waste energy on battles that do not serve her. Instead, she carries an unshakable presence, one that is felt rather than heard. A woman with strength in her silence does not react impulsively to life's challenges. She absorbs, she observes, she chooses her response with wisdom rather than emotion. There is no need for her to demand respect. It is given to her naturally because of the way she carries herself. Her silence is not weakness, it is a quiet confidence, a refusal to let the world shake her foundation. Men notice this kind of woman not because she is loud, but because she is steady. She does not engage in unnecessary conflict, nor does she let anger define her. When she speaks, her words have weight because they are not spoken carelessly. She knows when to listen, when to pause, and when to let the silence say more than words ever could. This strength is not about indifference. It is about discernment. She understands that not every storm requires a reaction. Not every opinion needs a response. Her silence is not passive, it is powerful. It allows her to see beyond the surface, to move with intention, to hold space for others without losing herself. And in a world that often confuses noise with importance, a woman who finds strength in her silence is unforgettable. She does not seek to overpower, she simply exists with a depth that draws people in, leaving them wondering what it is about her that feels so profoundly unshakable. 3. The way she listens. Without rushing to speak. There is an art to listening, one that few truly master. A woman who listens without rushing to speak possesses a rare and powerful gift. She does not simply wait for her turn to respond. She absorbs, she understands, she allows silence to exist without feeling the need to fill it. In a world that moves too fast, where conversations often turn into competitions, she offers something different: presence. A man notices when a woman listens with intention, when she is not merely hearing his words, but receiving them with care. He feels it in the way she remembers small details, in the way she asks about something he mentioned in passing days ago. It is in her eyes, her posture, the gentle way she leans in, signaling that his thoughts matter, that his voice is not lost in the noise of the world. Her listening is not passive. It is an act of love. She does not interrupt to offer solutions unless they are asked for. She does not diminish his feelings by telling him how he should think or feel. Instead, she creates space for him to exist fully, without judgment, without expectation. This kind of woman understands that true connection is not built on words alone, but on the feeling of being understood. And long after the conversation ends, a man remembers her. He remembers the ease of speaking freely, the comfort of being heard, the way her presence made him feel valued. In a world where everyone is eager to speak, she stands apart, not because she is silent, but because she listens in a way that makes others feel seen. 4. The way she honors her own time and energy. There is something undeniably compelling about a woman who knows her own worth, not in words, but in the way she moves through life. She does not waste her time proving herself to those who cannot see her value, nor does she exhaust her energy on things that do not bring her peace. She understands that time is the most precious currency, and she spends it wisely, guarding it with quiet confidence. A woman who honors her time and energy does not say yes out of guilt or obligation. She does not overextend herself to meet expectations that are not her own. Instead, she chooses with intention, where she invests her heart, whom she allows into her space, what she gives herself to. Her boundaries are not walls, but a quiet declaration that she respects herself enough to be discerning. Men notice this not because she demands attention, but because she radiates a self-assured presence. She is not drained by constantly pleasing others, nor does she shrink to fit someone else's desires. There is something powerful about a woman who is at peace with herself, who does not chase approval, who moves through life on her own terms. She is neither reckless nor rigid. She simply knows what she will and will not allow. And when a man encounters such a woman, he understands that she is not waiting to be chosen. She is choosing. She is choosing a life that nourishes her, relationships that uplift her, moments that matter. She teaches others how to treat her not through demands, but through the quiet, unwavering way she honors herself. And that, more than anything, is unforgettable. 5. The unspoken comfort of her presence. There are some people whose presence alone can quiet the storms within us. A woman who carries that kind of comfort does not have to say much. She does not need to fix, to prove, or to fill the silence with empty words. She simply is. And in being herself, steady, warm, and unwavering, she becomes a refuge for those who cross her path. Her presence is not about grand gestures or constant reassurance. It is in the quiet way she listens, in the gentle way she makes space for others to be themselves. She understands that true connection is not built on noise, but on knowing when to simply be. She does not rush to fill the air with advice when someone is struggling, nor does she demand explanations when someone needs space. Instead, she offers the kind of stillness that makes people feel safe. Men notice this not because it is loud, but because it is rare. In a world filled with urgency where people are so often consumed by their own distractions, she is different. She is present. She does not make life more complicated. She eases it. She does not ask for attention, yet she is impossible to forget. There is a peace about her, a quiet knowing, a depth that makes those around her breathe a little easier. And long after she is gone, her presence lingers. Not in words spoken or actions taken, but in the feeling of having been understood without ever having to ask. A woman like that is not just remembered, she is felt in the deepest and most unspoken places of the heart. 6. The kindness she shows when no one is watching. True kindness is not measured in grand acts or public gestures. It is revealed in the moments when there is no audience, no expectation of recognition. A woman who is kind when no one is watching carries a rare kind of beauty, one that is not performed but lived. It is in the way she treats those who can do nothing for her, the way she offers a gentle word to a stranger, the way she extends patience when it would be easier to turn away. She does not seek approval for her goodness, nor does she give with the hope of something in return. She understands that real kindness is not about convenience, it is about character. It is in the way she pauses to hold the door for someone moving a little slower, in the way she smiles at a passerby who looks like they need it most. It is in the way she listens to someone whose voice is often overlooked, the way she offers warmth without hesitation. Men notice this not because it is loud, but because it is honest. A woman who is kind when no one is watching is a woman who can be trusted. Her heart is steady, her goodness unwavering. She does not change depending on who is around. She is consistent, genuine, real. And that kind of authenticity is something that lingers, something that stays with a man long after he has walked away. Because the way she treats the world, even when no one is looking, is the clearest reflection of who she truly is. And a woman whose kindness is woven into the fabric of her being is not just admired, she is cherished, remembered, and deeply, deeply respected. 7. The way she makes him feel like he still matters. As the years pass, a quiet fear begins to settle in the hearts of many men, the fear of becoming invisible. A lifetime spent working, providing, and being relied upon slowly gives way to a world that no longer looks to them for guidance in the same way. The conversations that once needed their input now move forward without them. The roles they once filled with certainty shift into something less defined. And yet a man never stops wanting to feel useful, valued, and needed. A woman who understands this holds a power far greater than she may realize. She does not flatter or offer empty reassurances. Instead, she makes him feel seen in the most genuine way. She listens to his stories as if they matter, because they do. She asks for his advice, not out of obligation, but because she truly respects his perspective. She acknowledges his experiences, his wisdom, his place in the world, even when the world itself has begun to overlook him. Men notice when a woman makes them feel like they still have purpose. It is not about ego or vanity, it is about the fundamental human need to feel that one's presence still holds weight. A simple thank you, a moment of eye contact, a request for guidance. These things may seem small, but to a man who has spent a lifetime giving, they mean everything. And long after the conversation ends, long after the moment has passed, he carries it with him. Because in a world that too often forgets the value of those who have lived long enough to understand life deeply, a woman who reminds a man that he still matters is someone he will never forget. The impressions that stand the test of time. As the years unfold, we come to understand that what truly lingers in the heart is not found in grand gestures or fleeting moments of admiration. What remains, what we carry with us long after the seasons have changed, is the way someone made us feel. It is the warmth of their presence, the depth of their understanding, the unspoken moments of connection that needed no explanation. A woman may never realize just how much men notice, how deeply they remember the details that seem small in the moment but become the echoes of something lasting. They notice the way she lights up a room without demanding attention, the way she carries a quiet strength that reassures rather than overpowers. They notice the way she listens, not just to respond, but to understand. They feel the peace in her presence, the kindness she gives freely, and the way she respects her own worth without needing validation. Most of all, men notice when a woman makes them feel like they still belong, like they are still needed in a world that often moves too fast to look back. They remember the way she made space for them, the way she acknowledged their stories, the way she reminded them, without ever having to say it, that they are still seen. These are the things that last. Not youth, not perfection, not fleeting passion. What endures is the quiet beauty of a woman who lives with intention, who carries grace not as an act, but as a way of being. The woman who understands that the greatest gift she can offer is not to impress, but to simply be. And in the end, it is not about how she looked or what she owned, but about how she made those around her feel. A woman like that does not fade with time. She becomes a part of the hearts that were lucky enough to have known her, leaving behind something far more enduring than mere memory. She leaves behind a feeling that never disappears. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.